Hey, this week we are going to cover consultations. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about why it's so important to be a little more confident in your consultations and also just kind of how to set the tone for consultations and what our expectations are here at Berkshire. So sit tight, watch this video. I'll give you a short homework assignment for the week. And then you can go on about your way. So consultations, what's the point? They are designed to help you understand and deliver the goals of your client. So that's where you build trust. That's where you build a relationship. And they're so important and vital to the success in the relationship between you and your client. So the consultations really set the tone for the whole entire appointment. And also kind of open the door for your client to trust you a little bit more and also give them time to speak. So I just want you to know consultations do not have to be short and sweet, but typically anything over 5 to 7 minutes, they can become a little too long. So please know that you're always in the lead of the consultation. But to make sure that it's timely and that you're actually making progress. So we'll talk about you first, the stylist, the service provider. You lead the consultation. So what does that mean? What does that look like? So it means you keep yourself on track with the consultation, but it also has a lot to do with how you deliver it, how you come across. So let's talk about you. You are in the beauty industry and you are a beauty expert. So in order to give expert beauty advice, it starts with you. So coming to work dressed with your makeup on, your hair done, you look like you could give beauty advice. If you're coming with an oversized sweater and sneakers or a top messy bun, that doesn't really fit the bill. Your client wants to come to you and see that you're beautiful, you're dressed beautiful, your makeup is done, your hair is beautiful. Would you be comfortable going in, getting your makeup done by someone who didn't look the part? The same goes for you with hair. Your client has a level of expectation. That's why they're coming to Berkshire. And you've got to make sure you're dressed and ready. So always dressed nicely, following our employee guidelines, but also have your makeup done, have your hair done, be prepared for the day. Also, your emotions. They play a huge part in your consultation. So sometimes you've got to distance yourself from things that are going on in your everyday life, your home life. This is a business. And this is your business. So your clients are looking for you to be positive, upbeat, confident. If you are not confident, they will not trust you. They will question everything you do. So confidence is going to be your ultimate goal. But also just being happy. It is hard not to bring emotions to work, but this is not the place to bring them. So no matter what's going on at home or going on inside, or maybe something just happened during your break, work is not the place to bring that, especially with your clients. They come here and it is their chance to have a session with you to pour out everything that's going on with them. They're not here to hear about your bad news or hear about, what's going on in your personal life. So please don't bring those things with you to work. Unpack that baggage at the door. And when you walk in, be ready to be positive, be excited, be upbeat. They catch on to everything. Also, eye contact. So this is where standing behind the client for a consultation is weird. Do not stand behind your client. You stand face to face during your whole entire consultation and you make direct eye contact, especially if they're speaking. So looking through the mirror gets really awkward because the client doesn't know whether to look at the mirror or look at you. So you must stand in front of them, not behind them, and also not petting their hair. The client has boundaries. Yes, they came here for you to work on their hair. However, you don't want to pet them. You shouldn't be running your hands through their hair as you guys are talking. That's not active listening. You're not listening to your client if you're petting them. So now let's talk about active listening. You are repeating things that they're saying in a way that they say them. Okay, you want more depth brought in. Please avoid anything that's going to be stylist verbiage. You want to bring their verbiage down to their level. So when you're talking to them, you're actively listening and you're repeating things that they say. So things like root shadow and highlight and low light, those might not be the terms that they're using. So you want to make sure you use the proper terms that they're going to understand. Also commenting and connecting as they go. So maybe they're saying a lot to you. I hate my hair right now. I don't know what to do with it. It's always oily. It feels gross. Okay, so I hear you're not really happy right now. I can see that you're unhappy with how oily your hair is feeling lately. And maybe it's feeling kind of gross. I would love to take care of that for you today. Here's how I'm going to do it. So really picking up on the cues that they're leading you towards, and then turning that around and explaining to them what your treatment will be for those. Also, getting on the same page. I see this go wrong more often than not. If you are not on the same page as your guest and you deliver something that you thought they wanted and then they're unhappy, this is going to come back to the consultation. Expectations are set in the consultation. Getting on the same page, looking at photos together. Verbal expectations are very hard. That's why I always urge, especially new stylists, bring out photos. Please have your clients bring photos. Make sure that you let them know, I don't mind photos, I love them. That's a great way for us to connect and get on the same page. Without photos, if I came in today and I said, my hair is feeling really dark and I really want some lightness. So if you could just do that for me, that'd be great. We could be on completely different pages. Maybe I feel like this is really dark and I want highlights. Maybe I love the depth I have up here, but my ends are feeling really dark. So those two things are very, very different. They require different processes. So it's so important to make sure you're agreeing before you move forward. Photos also let you know if they want something warm, if they want something cool, if they want really blonde, if they just want a little bit of added dimension. It's so important to get on the same page. Also, repeating the plan. So maybe they're here for a partial foil, but you've looked at photos, you've had a consultation, and they clearly need a balayage. So, okay, today, I know you were scheduled for a partial foil, but we're gonna move forward with a balayage. Because of the photos that you showed me today, I can see that would be your best option to get us started in the right direction. Does that sound okay with you? So you've repeated the plan, they know what's happening. The next step, ask about pricing. This is so important. It's nothing worse than a client being quoted one thing over the phone, and then when they walk up to the front desk, they pay double the amount. Clients in your chair may be looking for a good deal or hair on a budget, and it's important to stick with that. It's highly uncomfortable to go to the front and maybe spend money that they had been saving for bills on their hair because you didn't ask for permission. So the great thing about that is we do have consultation papers that have prices on them. So after you've completed your consultation and agreed on a service, that's when you bring those consultation papers out. You choose the services on the consultation paper that you'd like, and right there, you quote them a price before you even start their hair. It is very important that you agree on a price and you've asked their permission to move forward. Today, we did choose that balayage option. I am gonna also recommend that you get a gloss. You cannot have a balayage without a gloss. That's going to make sure that you get those nice rich tones that we talked about in the photos you showed me. I also recommend that you get a haircut today. I'm gonna go ahead and add this up for you just to make sure the price sounds okay. Looks like it's going to be about $156 today. Are you okay with that? Super simple, to the point. They know what to expect. They can say yes or no. No, I'm sorry, that's a little bit more than I budgeted to spend. Okay, maybe we move the haircut to your next appointment. That's going to make your hair $136 today. Does that sound better? Yes, that's much better. I expected to spend that much. So that there's no hiccups along the way. So after you've settled on the plan and the price, you also want to set their journey expectations for next time. All right, Sarah, I know we agreed we're going to balayage today. I'm going to get you as light as possible. But in the instance that we don't get you quite as light as possible, maybe show her a photo of what's actually possible. Next time, I can get you to that really bright balayage. How does that sound to you today? So we agreed on the process. We agreed on the price. I set realistic expectations from the get-go. Remember, under promise, always over deliver. If it ends up being lighter than you expected, they'll be much more happy than if you promised to get them really light and you didn't. And also, last but not least, set their journey for next time. You started it in the consultation. That way, when you walk them to the front door, you can also say, this is Bree. She's working the front desk today. She's going to get you checked out, but she's also going to get you scheduled for that second balayage in 8 weeks. Can't wait to see you. Let the rest up to Bree, but you set the expectation that that process will begin again in 8 weeks. So all that had to do with consultations, but you as a stylist. So let's go over some quick questions on what to ask while you're consulting with the client. Some questions that are great to ask. What is your daily routine? How experienced are you with styling your hair? What do you like to do with your hair? What do you not like to do? How much time do you spend on your hair each day? So that you're not giving them a style that would maybe put them in more maintenance than what they'd prefer. Also start talking about styling tools and styling products. What kind of products do you have at home? Do you blow dry? Do you flat iron? Do you curl? That way you know a little bit about the products they use at home and you can integrate those into your service, whether they use Bumble or something else. My favorite thing to do is they have a favorite mousse at home they've been using for years. It's not Bumble. Cool. So I'm going to use the thickening mousse on that client because I know she likes a mousse and I want to sell her on our products. So there is something that helps you out in the consultation, but also at the end as you're styling and wrapping it up. What about what do you like about your hair right now? I love that my hair is long, or I love that my roots are dark, and I love the low maintenance that it gives me. What kind of things do you not like about your hair? I don't like that the ends are feeling really dry, or I don't like how dark it looks. That also opens the door to what's your hair history? What have you been doing with your hair the past few years? And that opens the door to tell you they've colored it themselves, they went to a different salon, they got a bad haircut, they got this, they got that. Let them talk and tell you hopefully what the truth is. And another thing, what have you had done lately that you liked with your hair, or what have you had done that didn't go so well with your hair? Maybe they'll tell you about a time that they tried to go red and it didn't work out so great. It's so important for you to know that so you don't turn around and give her auburn lowlights when she already knows she's not happy with that. Also, what do you want to achieve with your hair? What are your goals? Give them a chance to talk about that. Give them a chance to show photos. Are they wanting to go lighter? Do they need gray coverage? Are they needing added dimension? How often would you like to come back for hair maintenance? This is a huge one. So maybe you have someone in your chair that's very blonde and she's ready to go dark today. You've got to explain that there's going to be some maintenance with that. Even if I wanted to just go back to my natural today and I wanted you to take this all dark, I still have maintenance. Please don't allow them to walk out of the salon thinking this is a one shot and they don't have to come back. Or if it's a gray coverage client and they do want their gray covered, but they don't want to come back for 8 or 12 weeks. You have an option for those. You can do gray blending, you can use alumina, But setting the tone and finding out what their expectations are for maintenance is so important. Also, the budget. So we talked about earlier using the consultation form, but another way to ask that is, what is your budget for your hair today? They typically have something in mind, and it's your job to interpret that and help their dreams come true, but with realistic expectations. So you could also follow that up with, how does multiple sessions sound to you? I don't think we're really going to be able to get your hair quite that light today. How does it make you feel if I told you may have to come back 2 or 3 more times? That really sinks in for them, and it gives them a chance to tell you how they feel. This appointment is how they feel. It is not about how you feel. So if they're really unhappy with 2 to 3 sessions, it sounds like you need a new game plan. So please always remember to connect, communicate, and set your expectations for their hair journey in every consultation that you do. Please connect with photos. There's nothing worse than being on a totally different page as far as consultations go because you didn't take out your phone or because they were too embarrassed to. Please let them know how much we love photos. There's a stigma that stylists don't love photos. I don't know your vision until I can physically see it. So I can Google lowlights all day long, but unless you show me exactly what you're looking for, we're never on the same page. So please know, consultations are going to be one of the most important parts of your job. That's where you begin your client experience and you help them out with their journey with you as their stylist. So please, this week, I would like you to sit in at least 4 consultations during your shift. It doesn't necessarily have to be your shift of opportunity because you're going to have consultations with that stylist. But when it's a little bit slower in the salon, or you know you're going to be able to have that time, connect with the stylist. I'd love for you to come up and say, hey Jen, I would love to sit on your consultation today with Laura at 11 o'clock. I'm gonna have some time there. Would that be okay with you? So please, at least 4 consultations this week. I would prefer them to be with master or veteran stylists only. And then let's talk about them. Let's kind of pick them apart. Who did well? Who was thorough? Who was not thorough? I would love for you to maybe try 4 different stylists. We all have a different technique and a way of doing things, and I'd like you to pick up some tips from all of us. So good luck this week on recording your own consultations as well. I can't wait to hear what you find out.